Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Just a few months ago, I posted a video on my YouTube channel discussing the difference between launch angle, which is the way they're teaching young kids today, or a more flat swing that's considered a little bit more old school or like a dinosaur like me. You guys went absolutely berserk. Some of you said it's impossible to swing down and make the ball go up. Some of you brought science into it and said, Alex, you're crazy, it doesn't work. Well, I had a good friend of mine who saw a lot of the reaction and told me, hey Rod, I want to come in, chime in, edit, add a few things because I'm very passionate about the swing of baseball and I know the swing as well as anybody. Well, this guy is the greatest player I've ever seen. I had the great fortune to play with him in Japan many, many years ago. Played against him in many All-Star games, little humble brag, and he is the best of the best, and if you don't believe me, just ask him. He's Barry Bonds, a guy that needs no more introduction.
Deep to right field. This one is on its way to McCovey Cove, number 500, it's into the water. Unbelievable.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know the folks at home are really appreciating this. So let's get right into it. So Barry, tell us where you stand on today's modern swing, which is a little bit more, we talk about like the Ferris wheel, call it launch angle, or more the merry-go-round, which is more the Barry Bonds flatter swing. Tell us what you think.
I'm more of a down angle swinger.
Why?
And what I mean by that, Alex, is downhill doesn't mean you're swinging completely downhill. Downhill means like you're just coming down through the ball and the bat actually flattens itself out. And then when it flattens itself out, when you finish off, because my bottom hand is my lengthier hand, we'll actually extend it longer, and then after the swing of point of contact, yeah, the bat can actually come up.
So do us a favor, Barry, can you stand up, grab a bat, and show us what you mean?
You always have a downward plane to a baseball, but not really like we're swinging straight downhill. We're actually coming down through the baseball. The bat will actually flatten itself out. And then with my other lengthy hand, because one hand is longer than the other, that will also actually pull it into a projected angle. And that's just based on where the ball is located. I never really told anyone too much about, but I always call it an X factor. It's an X. And hitting is like an X, and then I have a center line. So my center line is projecting right toward the pitcher. Well, I have an X. This hand, no matter what sport you play, there's two balance points in your body. This hand is always going to communicate with this leg. This leg is always going to communicate with this shoulders. I call it an X.
Okay.
Right? I utilize my back leg as a balancing point. For these two to communicate, this is my balancing point. So it doesn't matter how you want to see it, you can see it. I have a little step here because I always want to be in a straight line. So people always said I had a tap, but it also was just a get ready to a balance point for my power, which is going to be my back leg. For this top hand here to drive through, to communicate this leg, that brings this hand through, which now brings this hip through, and allows me to follow through. Right? So I call it an X.
You know, Barry, a lot of kids get taught to hit off their back leg, but you've always talked about the Barry Bonds X factor. Can you tell us what that means?
When I had a kid, and he goes, well, he'll say, hey, Mr. Bonds, and I said, you know, call me Barry, because it's not in this daddy page. And he'll go, okay, Barry, my coach tells me to hit off my back leg. I said, okay, hit off your back leg. So he's gonna go like this. Here's my X factor. As soon as this guy talks, what did this guy do? Even if I just go like this, a little bitty movement, I cannot go like this, because now I have too many, I'm forcing my body to do one thing. So if I go on my back leg, I say, okay, we're just gonna use our back leg and take this guy out. As soon as I take this back leg up, I go like this, where did this go?
Upward, yeah.
Go this way. My head's gonna go this way.
Yeah.
Right? It has no choice. Here's my X. So now I tell him, and give yourself a little base, but you're gonna go like this with your step leg, and now what happens here?
You stay flat.
You stay flat. Okay? So it's not really, I'm not sitting there saying drive down. It's make the two talk to each other. This is my guide hand. I can't sit here with this bottom hand, and I know a lot of people doing this soft toss this, and it's okay. But even if I do that, I have to make, as soon as I coach this leg, this guy wants to go, this guy wants to go. They want to go. So I'm forced to lift my body up a little bit to bring that through if I was going to do it with one hand, soft toss or something. I'm forced to do this to stay straight, to stay balanced, to stay square, and I'm using too much muscle and strength in this. Now, if I communicate with this guy and this guy, I go like this, look how easy that is, right? This is my guide hand. This becomes my power to my balance point to power. So guide it here, boom, take it through here, now there's my power, and now I can let my hands go. Because with my head, if I go here, my chin isn't going anywhere as long as these two are talking. I go here, I can't do this. Now if I make the X factor to these two talking, now there's too many, I just don't have the balance point.
And Barry, the two things you always preached to me about was one, was Alex, you have to have great balance at the plate. And number two, you thought that I was getting a little bit too much dipping my back shoulder and my bat head was dropping. Therefore, I was creating a loop in my swing, which was making my swing slower with less power. Why was it so important for me or hitters to keep great balance and not to dip the back shoulder before they swing?
The reason why I do that, Alex, is only because it's the proper thing to do. I always put a tee down, or with the guys who love to hit off the tee, and the first thing I try to make them do is chop the ball down and hit it straight on the ground. Reason why is because I expect perfection in the batting cage. I expect you to be perfect. Perfect is here, bringing the ball down and chopping the ball down. Reasons why I say that, Alex, is because it's easy to go up.
Yeah.
Up is the easiest thing to do in a swing. I don't even need anyone to ever explain that to me. When we want to be perfect, and I'm talking about perfect, so in the cage, I expected myself to be perfect, is to always have this downward swing here. Because anytime I want to change it, I can do this in a set. And then what happens is, for instance, let's just say they're in a slump. Trying to bring your body all the way back here is hard.
Yeah.
So the reason why I over-exaggerate and emphasize here on a consistent basis, and you can probably look at some film with me and my dad, and I think it's on there's a film with me and my dad when I came into the dugout, and you'll see my dad pointing his finger at me and going like this.
Yeah.
Like this to me. And it's the same thing. What did we practice? This. You can always do this, Barry. That's easy to do. Perfect the perfect down level swing. Perfect it. And once you can perfect it, you can do this anyway. Because anytime you get into a game, I have what I call red light, green light. So, okay, red light says we're chilling. We're going to try to be better. Once green light comes and the game comes on, I don't care who you are. You're automatically going to do this because it's this. Well, I'd rather automatically be perfected doing this and only go way up to come up a little bit than always doing this, and now I'm going and I'm getting jammed, or I'm popping the balls up, or I'm just too late to the basement.
So Barry, today you see a lot of sluggers who are our best players striking out over 200 times and hitting 30 home runs, and they consider that a great season. You were one of the few sluggers that hit more home runs than you struck out per season, which is phenomenal. But one step further, I remember watching you for over 10 years. I don't think I ever saw you check your swing, which is incredible. And you hardly ever chased out of the strike zone. Tell us how you developed that discipline and balance at the plate.
We came in different eras. And I don't blame the ball players of today. The game has changed and it's allowed. We as ball players are going to adapt to what our surroundings are.
Right.
And if baseball has allowed that to be their surroundings, the guys have adapted to that. When we came up, if you don't hit 300, if you strike out 100 times, you're going to go to the minor leagues. you're going to get renewed, or we're going to ship you out. Well, in this generation, there is none of that. So I don't really blame the players. I mean, if somebody told me I can strike out 200 times and make $300 million, I'm going to strike out 200 times and make $300 million. It doesn't matter.
Right.
There's no urgency for me to do anything other than that. So I don't blame the players in today's generation. I don't fault them. That's what the game has wanted. That's what the game has asked for, and I just feel the players just adapted to what the game has asked for.
And where did you get that discipline?
I was always from my father.
Yeah.
My father was disciplined was this: Barry, be a great hitter. Home runs don't matter. Barry, if you get 500 plate appearances and you're a great hitter, just be a good hitter. And I learned that from Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn was a huge mentor to me throughout my career, because Tony Gwynn had the same philosophy of things like my father. Keep your top hand above the baseball. Keep your head still. These two communicate with each other. Tony Gwynn was awesome at it. Use line to line, Barry. If you utilize the whole field, that is going to open up the gaps. My job was to do what I did. Hit drive-in runs, hit forward, do whatever. I didn't bunt. I could have bunted and hit 400 most of the time. But you got today's players. That to me, I don't know where it went. I asked some players, like even Dexter, he went, he was hitting 190 or something at this time, early part of the season. And he says, Barry, what do I need to do? I said, blunt. You got to show third base is playing shortstop, brother. Unless you're the number 4 hitter that's supposed to drive the runs, you got a third baseman playing. I will bunt every time till he moves back to third base, and I will hit 400.
I would too.
And also, bunting has always been a key to get you back lined up. So anytime that I can sit here and play catch with the baseball and line myself up, even if I'm going there, it's going to slow things down. Because right now, for some reason, you might feel you're too slow, you're striking too big. Play catch again. Bring the ball, bring everything back to you. Boom, bunt over there, boom. That one bunt down the third baseline, or that one bunt that hit, can ignite you to get 2 or 3 hits the next time. And that's what. Only thing that frustrates me about the game is that they're not thinking a little bit of being a complete player, a complete hitter. Utilize what's given to you. I know they use these, all this little chart stuff of, he averagely hits the ball right here. His balls land here, so we're going to cut off his holes. Okay, that's okay. Well, I'm going to make my own holes, because you do have that option. Create your own holes and then force them to change up. And if they don't want to change, take your 400 batting average, and you'll probably be one of the best averages in the game.
Barry, last question for me. If you graduated from Arizona State in 2020 and you're drafted by the Giants or Pittsburgh or anyone, and the way that the game is being driven by data and sabermetrics, do you think you would have not listened to your dad Bobby or your godfather Willie Mays and started swinging launch?
That's a tough question, Alex. But I listened to my father with the mental. You know what I feel sad about is that baseball is an eye-hand coordination sport. You got to get in the fire to feel what it's like to be burned. There's no computer that can do that. There's no chart. It's like you can build a house and you can have the whole design made and the bolts are still off. That's a computer. But when you get in the game, things can change. Things could be different. And also being drafted, I just feel sorry for some of this next generation of kids, only because they sit there and say, well, this guy, you will have to, based on our charts or symmetrics or whatever they're calling it, you're not going to be a big league player. And I just don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. Somebody could be a late bloomer. Somebody could, you could draft him on potential, and in the next 3 years, he develops into one of your best players.
Right.
I just don't agree with that aspect of it, the way they're doing with all the computer-based metrics and all that.
Yeah, and I always say, one thing is to read a book about heart surgery. That doesn't mean you can go in and, execute surgery on somebody else. And I think, sometimes you have the blind spot where you'll miss a great young player like a Dustin Pedroia or a Kirby Puckett, who someone may say he's too small, but they can't measure his heart. Or Roberto Alomar, that's 5 tools and actually can do anything at any time. All right, Barry, well, this has been...
Examples, Alex, great examples, because human error is human error. And that's that's just part of the game, and that's just part of people. But I just don't think it's fair that there's a kid out there that has potential. And if he has potential, you have to be smart enough with your own eyes to realize that he may turn around in a couple years, or he does have a good swing, or he does have speed. He has the ability. Let's give him a shot and see what happens.
Barry, great stuff. Thank you so much. We should do this in person because I know our listeners are going to love it. You're the best, and I'm glad people know a little bit more about how smart, how much you respect the game, and what a great ambassador you are for our game. Thanks, my brother.
So I want to thank Barry Bonds for his time and energy and his passion. Obviously, it jumps out of the page, and Barry is a savant. He knows more about hitting than anybody else that I've ever met, and no one works at it harder and can articulate it in a beautiful way. And there was a few takeaways for me. I love the fact that Barry Bonds said, if I play today with today's shifts, I will bunt every day until I hit 400. That was really interesting. By the way, I would do the same thing because I think it's just it's smart. It's smart baseball. Smart baseball is evergreen. It will live forever. And like his father, Bobby Bonds, told him, he said, Barry, I just want you to be a good hitter, focus on good contact, and guess what? If you get 500 at-bats, you're going to hit 30 home runs. That's the bottom line. One of the things that I thought was really compelling, he talked about the top hand being his guide hand. And I thought that was really interesting. And then he talked about his bottom hand being his power hand. But he was very clear on this hand coming over the top like this. You see where this barrel's coming like this? He was very adamant, and he was really clear on these shoulders being really flat, and this bat head where the guide is coming this way and just coming flat through the strike zone. I thought that was really interesting because if you look at young hitters today, this hand, it drops and it gets into a slot and then they're coming this way. Barry and I, and you talk to Albert Pujols or Manny Ramirez and other great hitters from our generation. I'm not saying we're right, it's just different. We really believed in keeping this guide hand and this head on top as long as possible. And then he said, this is your power hand. And then as you come through, we thought this top hand will come on top of the ball this way to there. Versus, that's our way. This is the modern day. See where it drops here? And then the Ferris wheel starts. And as a result, you maybe hit more home runs, you certainly hit more fly balls, but your strikeouts are gonna increase, your batting average is gonna decrease, and I really feel that unless you're a guy like Justin Turner or Daniel Murphy, and you're just a great hand-eye coordination guy off the charts, it is really hard to convert that movement into higher average, better slugging, more home runs, more RBIs. Barry and I agree that the two most important statistic in all of baseball are runs scored and RBIs. Why? The way you win in baseball is you gotta score runs, baby. You gotta score. There's some people out there that actually think that RBIs are overrated. I think that is wrong. I respectfully disagree. And I think Barry and I agree that RBIs and runs scored are what great offensive winning players do. I don't believe that someone can hit 30 home runs and has 55 RBIs is good. I like a 4-to-1 ratio, meaning 25 home runs, 100 RBIs. 30 home runs, 120 RBIs. That's what the classic slugger should try to do year in and year out. So I want to give a big thank you to my big brother, Barry Bonds. Thank you so much for taking some time from your busy schedule. The content you shared with us over the last 20 minutes has been unbelievable, off the charts. Barry talked about small ball, big ball, talked about being a good hitter, talked about some of the lessons that he learned from his father, Bobby Bonds, and his godfather, Willie Mays. He talked about the importance of being a good hitter, a balanced hitter, about the importance of getting a good pitch to hit, and his passion radiated. He just exudes the love for the game of baseball. He's a baseball savant. I hope you get to watch it, enjoy it, and if I was a young hitter and you have Barry Bonds, he's lefty, I'm righty, this is a video that can be evergreen, that you can watch over and over again for the rest of your life. As long as you love baseball, this video will help you forever. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And for now, see ya!